Imagine this. A man walks into a room filled with his enemies. He says nothing. He doesn't rush. He doesn't smile. And yet, every eye locks onto him. They don't even know why. But they feel it. Presence. Power. Control. Now here's the truth. Most people will walk into a room and disappear. Background noise, forgotten before they even sit down. But the dangerously smart, they don't just walk in. They command the air itself. Stop believing life rewards kindness, effort, or good intentions. It doesn't. Life rewards strategy. And strategy is merciless. There are two types of people. The pawns, who play by rules they didn't write, and the players who bend those rules until the board belongs to them. Which one are you? Machiavelli warned us 500 years ago. A man who wishes to be only good will inevitably come to ruin among so many who are not good. Think about that. If you cling to purity, the ruthless will feed on you. If you cling to weakness, the strong will use you. Here's the key. To survive, you must evolve. To be respected, you must learn the laws hidden beneath appearances. To win, you must become dangerously smart. And tonight, I'm going to hand you 8 ruthless lessons that will shift the way you think, act, and rise. Lessons so sharp they'll cut through your illusions, and so powerful they'll make you untouchable. But understand this. This is not entertainment. This is war for your future. You either absorb these truths and rise, or you stay blind and let the world devour you. The choice is yours. If you're ready, if you have the courage, lean in. Smash that like button if you're already feeling the weight of this message. Subscribe if you want the truths most people can't handle. And share this with the one person in your circle who needs to hear it. Drop this in the comments right now. Respect over approval. Power over weakness. Number 1. Stop playing for approval. Start playing for power. Here's the truth. Weak people are addicted to approval. They chase applause, likes, validation. They live for the nod of others. But here's the dark reality. Approval is cheap, power is rare. Think about it. How many people in your life smile at you but secretly dismiss you the moment you walk away? Approval doesn't last. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't make you respected. It makes you replaceable. The dangerously smart play a different game. They know that when you stop chasing approval, you free yourself to move strategically. You start making moves not for popularity, but for dominance. You become unpredictable, untouchable, unforgettable. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He wasn't saying kindness is useless. He was warning you. Love fades. Fear anchors. Respect holds. Here's what I need you to understand. When you choose approval, you hand people a leash to control you. When you choose power, you hold the leash. That is the difference between being remembered and being erased. So stop trying to be liked. Start demanding respect. Build an aura that commands attention, not permission. Because the moment you let go of approval, you unlock the second ruthless lesson. The one that determines whether people see you as a leader or as prey. Number 2. Control the atmosphere. Before it controls you. Stop underestimating this. People don't just respond to your words. They respond to your energy. Walk into a room nervous, desperate, apologetic. Everyone feels it. They sense weakness before you even open your mouth. And weakness invites predators. But when you control the atmosphere, you don't need to shout. You don't need to beg. Your presence does the work. The dangerously smart know how to set the emotional tone. They don't enter energy, they dictate it. Picture this. Two men walk into the same meeting. One sits small, waiting for others to decide if he belongs. The other sits calm, upright, silent, but heavy, as if his confidence bends the space around him. Which one gets followed? Which one gets dismissed? Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel." Translation: appearances and atmospheres shape perception more than truth itself. If you don't master perception, you lose before you even fight. Here's your new rule. Command silence before you speak. Project calm when others panic. Breathe slow. Move deliberate. Look directly, but without desperation. Make them feel you're the anchor in the storm. The one who controls the atmosphere controls the outcome. Drop this in the comments. I command presence. But presence is only the beginning. Because the third ruthless lesson, it reveals the weapon that silently binds people to you, without them even realizing it. Number 3, turn favors into invisible chains. Here's the truth. Most people treat favors like kindness. They give freely, they help endlessly, and they expect gratitude in return. But gratitude fades faster than smoke. What lingers is obligation. The dangerously smart don't just do favors, they engineer debts. Every time they help someone, they're weaving an invisible chain around that person's neck. And the more someone takes, the heavier the chain becomes. Think about it. How many people have you helped who later forgot? But imagine instead, every favor you gave was designed not to be repaid with thanks, but with loyalty. Suddenly, you don't just have friends, you have dependents. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are more ready to repay an injury than a benefit, because gratitude is a burden and revenge a pleasure." Let that sink in. Gratitude doesn't motivate. Obligation does. Here's your strategy. Never give in a way that's free. Give in a way that makes return impossible. Help someone at their weakest moment when they cannot stand without you. Position your support so deep that repayment is never equal, so they carry that debt like a shadow. The average man gives and loses. The strategist gives and rules. Drop this in the comments. My favors create power. But even debt has limits. The next ruthless lesson shows you how to make people fear crossing you without ever lifting a hand. Number 4, make betrayal too costly to attempt. Here's the truth. Betrayal is not an accident. It is calculation. People betray when they believe the reward outweighs the risk. Your job? Tilt the scales. Make the price of crossing you so heavy, they think twice before even imagining it. Weak people beg for loyalty. They hand out trust like candy. And then they're shocked when knives appear in their back. The dangerously smart never beg. They design consequences. Picture this. 2 leaders. One is loved, soft, generous. Betray him, and nothing happens. The other is calm, measured, but everyone knows. Betray him, and the cost will be unbearable. Who do you think commands real loyalty? Machiavelli wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved when you have to choose between the two." This isn't about cruelty. It's about clarity. Fear is not rage or violence. Fear is the quiet knowledge that stepping out of line will destroy you. Here's how you apply it. When someone wrongs you, don't explode, don't rant. Instead, withdraw your support, cut off opportunities, let them feel the emptiness of your absence. Your silence will strike harder than your scream, and the message will spread. Crossing you is expensive. Stop making betrayal free. Start making it costly. Drop this in the comments. My silence is power. But fear alone won't make you untouchable. The next ruthless lesson? It forces you to kill the deepest weakness inside you, the craving that makes most people slaves. Number 5. Kill your addiction to approval. Stop. Listen carefully. This is the one addiction that silently enslaves more people than alcohol, drugs, or gambling ever could. The addiction to approval. You might not think you're addicted, but look closer. How many times have you laughed at a joke you didn't find funny just to fit in? How many times have you swallowed your opinion because you didn't want to sound harsh? How many times have you said yes when you wanted to scream no? That is the drug of approval running your veins. Here's the truth. Approval is the leash. And every time you beg for it, you hand the leash to someone else. They pull, you follow. They withhold, you collapse. You are no longer a free mind. You're a trained dog waiting for the next treat. The dangerously smart kill this addiction. They understand that approval is a cheap high, but respect, that's the real currency. Respect is rare. Respect is lasting. Respect is rooted in strength. Think about it. Picture two people in a workplace. One bends over backwards for every request, works overtime, avoids conflict, desperate to be seen as the nice one. The other sets boundaries, speaks directly, doesn't sugarcoat truth. Which one gets taken advantage of? Which one gets promoted? Which one leaves a mark? Machiavelli warned us clearly. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. Translation? People don't remember kindness. They don't cherish your sacrifices. They remember what touches their self-interest. They remember strength, not softness. Psychology backs this up. Studies on social dynamics show that those who people-please are respected less over time. Why? Because constant agreeability signals weakness. And weakness, whether you admit it or not, disgusts people. They may smile at you, they may like you, but behind closed doors, they dismiss you. Your new strategy. Train yourself to disappoint people. Yes, disappoint them. Say no without explanation. Withhold your need to explain every choice. Stand alone without craving applause. At first it feels like death, but soon something strange happens. When you stop needing approval, you start receiving respect. People realize you cannot be swayed. You cannot be manipulated. You cannot be owned. Approval is a drug. Respect is currency. Power is freedom. Choose wisely. Drop this in the comments. Respect over approval. Power over weakness. But killing approval is not enough. The next ruthless lesson takes you deeper, into the art of bending people's desires until they serve you. Number 6. Weaponize desire. Don't chase it. Here's the brutal truth. People are slaves to their desires. They crave attention. They crave money. They crave comfort, validation, love, status. Most of them will sell their time, betray their values, even compromise their dignity just to taste the things they desire. And that's why they're weak, because whatever you chase, you can be controlled by. The dangerously smart don't chase desire. They weaponize it. They flip the game. They know that whoever controls the object of desire controls the people. Think about it. In relationships, the one who craves love desperately is always the one controlled. They wait by the phone, they bend over backwards, they sacrifice without question. Meanwhile, the one who withholds strategically, the one who makes their presence scarce, becomes the center of gravity. The craving creates power. The same law applies in business. The desperate employee who craves money becomes replaceable. But the investor, the deal maker, the one who controls the flow of money, he dictates the rules. He doesn't beg, he chooses. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Desire is simply love disguised. It's the carrot. Fear is the stick. The master strategist knows how to use both. But here's the twist. Fear gets obedience. Desire gets devotion. If you can become the gatekeeper of what people want, they'll chain themselves to you willingly. Psychology confirms this. Studies in behavioral economics show that scarcity increases desire. When something is rare or withheld, people value it far more than when it's freely available. The weak give too much, too easily. The strong hold back, create scarcity, and make people prove themselves to earn what they want. Here's how you apply it. Study their hunger. Watch closely. Everyone reveals what they crave most. Recognition, intimacy, protection, opportunity. Position yourself as the gatekeeper. Don't chase. Don't beg. Control access to the thing they want. Withhold strategically. The moment you give everything, you lose leverage. Give in doses. Dangle, delay, direct. The weak run after what they want. The powerful stand still and let others run toward them. So ask yourself right now, are you the hunter of desire or the bait master? Because one gets exhausted, the other gets obeyed. Drop this in the comments. I control desire. It does not control me. But controlling desire is not enough. The next ruthless lesson reveals a darker, subtler weapon, the ability to terrify people without ever raising your voice. Number 7. Master the power of strategic restraint. Here's the truth. Most people equate power with noise. They believe dominance is about shouting louder, moving faster, reacting harder. But noise is desperation in disguise. Noise reveals your limits. The dangerously smart understand something darker. Restraint terrifies more than rage. Think about it. When someone screams at you, you know exactly where their anger ends. You see their ceiling. But when someone stays calm, when they meet hostility with silence, with a slow stare, with a measured pause, you don't know where their ceiling is, and that uncertainty makes them dangerous. Restraint forces the imagination of others to do the heavy lifting, and imagination always paints you darker, stronger, and more threatening than reality. Picture 2 scenarios. A man is insulted in public. The first reacts instantly. His face flushes red. His voice cracks as he shouts back. Everyone watching knows. His emotions own him. The second man is insulted, and he simply smiles. He says nothing. He takes a slow sip of water. He lets silence suffocate the room. Who seems more powerful? Who lingers in memory? Machiavelli understood this. He wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." What he meant was, a wise ruler surrounds himself with restraint, calm calculation, not emotional chaos. Restraint is not weakness. It's discipline that unnerves enemies and stabilizes followers. Modern psychology proves this as well. In negotiation studies, the party that can hold silence the longest usually wins. Why? Because silence creates pressure. People rush to fill it with concessions, with explanations, with mistakes. Strategic restraint turns your stillness into a weapon. Here's your application. Delay your responses. Never rush to answer an insult, a text, or a challenge. Delay forces others into discomfort. Lower your reactions. When others rise in anger, you go lower in calm. This inversion makes you look like the true authority. Let silence speak. Don't fear the pause. Master it. A single calm silence can crush egos louder than 1,000 words. Restraint is not about doing nothing. It's about doing less so that every action becomes amplified. A whisper from a restrained man is louder than a scream from a reactive one. So here's your command. Train restraint. Bite back the urge to prove yourself. Make silence your ally. Learn to weaponize calm. When you do, you'll stop being predictable and start being feared. Drop this in the comments. My silence shakes empires. But silence, even when mastered, is temporary. To truly transcend, you must construct something permanent. The eighth and final ruthless lesson is the one that makes you untouchable, even after you're gone. Number 8. Build a legacy that outlives fear. Here's the truth. Fear will protect you. Respect will elevate you, but only legacy will immortalize you. Most people live like candles, burning fast, flickering weak, forgotten the moment they're gone. But the dangerously smart build fires that never die. Legacy is not about fame. It's about architecture, systems, rituals, structures. The weak rely on charisma, charm, or luck. The strong design institutions, habits, and myths that keep their influence alive long after they leave the room or this world. Think about it. A king without heirs dies with his crown. But a strategist who creates laws, traditions, or networks, his power continues, even in silence. This is why Machiavelli's words still cut 500 years later. His name became his weapon. His book became his fortress. Machiavelli wrote, "He who builds on people builds on mud. If you depend only on others' loyalty, you'll collapse. But if you build on systems, principles, rituals, rules, you create a fortress no enemy can storm. Here's how you apply it. Stop thinking short-term. Create structures that secure your presence when you're absent. Train people to operate under your influence even without you. Leave ideas, tools, and strategies that keep your power echoing long after you're gone. Fear may protect you today. Respect may crown you tomorrow. But legacy makes you untouchable forever. Drop this in the comments. My legacy makes me immortal. Final transformation, from pawn to untouchable. Look back at who you were before these 8 lessons. A pawn, chasing approval, begging for recognition, exposed to betrayal, lost in noise. That old version of you lived for crumbs, desperate, replaceable, forgotten. Now look at who you become when you apply these principles. 1. You stop playing for approval and start playing for power. You control atmospheres before they control you. 3. You weave invisible chains of obligation through favors. You make betrayal too costly to attempt. You kill your addiction to approval. You weaponize desire instead of chasing it. You master restraint, making silence your sword. And finally, you build a legacy that outlives fear itself. This is the transformation, from fragile to formidable, from liked to respected, from replaceable to untouchable. You are no longer a background character in other people's story. You are the strategist, the architect, the force that others orbit around. When you walk into a room, energy bends. When you speak, silence falls. When you leave, your presence remains. Stop underestimating yourself. These aren't just lessons, they're weapons. Use them, and your life will no longer be ordinary. It will be legendary. Now it's your move. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button right now. Subscribe for more truths most people can't handle. And share this with someone who needs to wake up before it's too late. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am respected, feared, and untouchable.